Hi there, my name is Fiona Robertson and I am an agent for your soul, bringing you practical magic every single week. Have you ever felt that you have been guided, that you have an internal GPS, that you don't really know how you find your way here or to a particular location, but it just happened? You have an internal GPS. This is what I found. And one of the coolest stories that I have about this is being given directions, and the directions were completely off, but yet I found myself exactly where I needed to be because I had an image of it. So this is your internal GPS being turned on, being tuned in, giving you soul assistance. I had this beautiful yoga instructor and she invited me to her house. She rang me and she said, hey, come over and we're having a pool party and I'd like you to meet my partner and we can spend the afternoon together. I'm like, yeah, cool. She said, okay, well, do you know this place and that place? Because I live there. And I got the image in my head. I'm like, yeah, okay, I know where that is. But I still took the directions from her. I still took the roads and the left turn and the right turn. And then when you see this, and then when you see that, and then turn left here and look out for this. So as I'm driving there on this beautiful sunny afternoon where I live here in Southwest France, which is another story of being guided to be somewhere that you need to be, where your soul needs to be. So I'm driving to this beautiful lady's house and I'm following her instructions, turn left here, look out for that, and turn right, roundabout. And I get thoroughly and utterly lost. I'm just like, I don't know where I am. I don't know where I'm supposed to be. It's not here. It just does not feel right. This is something's off in these instructions. So I stop the car and I just settle down for a little bit. And I get, that's the image. All right, so how do I get to that image? How do I get to that road? And all of me goes straight on. I'm like, yeah, but I've been told to turn left here and I've turned left 5 times and it just doesn't take me where I'm supposed to be going. I've also even tried going right. No, go straight on. Right, okay, I'll go straight on. And I get a second image that there will be somebody standing on the road going, it's me, hey, come this way. So I set my car off again, I come to the crossroads and I go straight over. And I'm driving for a little bit and I keep checking, is this the right way to go? Is this the right way to go? All of a sudden, I see her standing on the side of the road going, yes, you made it, here we are. Because even though I'd rung her when I'd stopped, she said, no, go left. I listened to my internal GPS and I arrived at exactly the right gateway. I could see the trees, I could see the house and the, behind, see the gateways. And I'd arrived where the image had showed me, like telepathically showing me where I was going. Then I arrive because my GPS has taken me there, my internal GPS, not what's been put down on the paper, because following sometimes someone else's instructions don't match with you. So have you ever felt that you've arrived somewhere, that you followed your own GPS, or that you wish you had a better internal GPS? This has happened so many times for me. Back in the day, I was, driving around the UK because I was a distributor for miniature cameras, miniature monitors, all this kind of cool stuff. The original cameras that go on your computers today was a big camera like this pen size that's stuck on the top of your computer. You needed a card in your computer, you needed software and all this kind of stuff. So this was the precursor to having a beautiful camera, installed in your computer already. So this was my job, to go around and show people these cameras and cables and lenses. And this was in the day when there were faxes. So I'd say, okay, send me the directions, send me a map of where you are. So they'd send the map through, and imagine this kind of paper was like the paper of a till receipt or a parking ticket. And you know, if you leave this out in the sunshine, all the information, because it's heat sensor, disappears. So I'm driving in a car on a hot day, and I've got like a piece of paper that I'm trying to follow, and I'm reading a map, and I'm, you know, there's no such thing as TomTom or GPS or Waze or anything like that on your phone. So you're blind. A lot of the time you're blind, or you're having to, you know, think, oh, what was that image, or what were the directions? You're disconnected from the piece of paper that somebody's given you with like where you're supposed to go, and you're driving all over the world, all over the country rather. I was in the UK. Often I would just, again, like this story I just told you about meeting my yoga teacher, I would end up completely having this system in my head to go, ooh, I'm just completely lost. I'm in tears. I don't know where I am. One day I was visiting York. I ended up so lost that I was in the tram lane, and on the side of the road of the tram were these pavement steps. So I couldn't get my car out. Somehow I'd got in the tram line, and I could hear ding, ding, ding behind me that a tram was coming. I was panicking. I was so scared that I just crying, didn't know where I was going, all suited and booted, and I've got all the cameras in the back and the monitors. I'm like, oh my God. Suddenly somebody steps in front of the car and says, this way, come out, come out. So I follow him, I get out of the tram line. I'm like, this is so difficult. I have got a map on a piece of paper that's blowing in the wind. It's practically lost all the details on it because it's a hot day. I'm frenzied because I've ended up in a middle of a city, and I'm on the railway tracks of the tram. It's dinging behind me. Enough. I can't do this anymore. Find somewhere to stop the car in the middle of the city. Breathe, calm down. And I'm just waiting, and I don't know what I'm waiting for. And I end up that, right, okay, I've got to move now. Just start the car. Just move anywhere. Follow your nose. Start driving, follow my nose. And I end up exactly where I'm supposed to be. This for me is another example of practical magic and being GPS soul assisted, taken to where you need to go. And I arrive and I'm like, why did I get so panicked? What was that all about? It was just being disconnected and not trusting that you'll be taken to the right place at the right time. I am so taught to plan, to get the map, to know the formula, to know which way to go, to get instructions, to remember, when all the time your soul, your GPS system on the inside of you is sending you messages like, oh, it'd be really cool if you turn right here or go here. And this happened so many times for me, but I wasn't aware of what was going on at the time. So all these stories were reminded to me, and this is why I wanted to do this episode today, about how your internal GPS is working for you, is guiding you if you're listening and if you're feeling into it. So on Friday, I had to go to a town to pick up something. I live in France. And yes, I have the application on my phone called Waze, and I rely on that the same as I used to rely on TomTom. So I put in the address. I get to the town because I know where that is. I stop. I put the address in. No connection. I'm like, ooh, wow, holy cow. Don't know what I'm doing. Don't know where I'm going. Again, getting into that state, like, because you've relied on, the systems that are out there, satellite systems, like, ooh, no connection. Don't really know where I'm going now. sat there for a little while. I went, well, I know it's around here. Well, I'm just going to drive and see if I find it. Start the car, move forward. I know the name of the road. The very next road I see on the right-hand side is the name of the road that I'm looking for. Okay, wow, thank you. Carry on driving forwards, turn right. And I went, I have an idea that if I just follow this road around, and I know it's number 22, one of my lucky numbers, follow this road around, and within a very short space of time, there is the house that I'm looking for, where I'm collecting these 4 pots of bamboos. That's how easy being soul assisted, letting it be your GPS, and you just happen to turn up this road because you want to be able to stop the car, and the very next road is the road that you're looking for. You couldn't have fathomed that out. You couldn't have thought about it. You couldn't have planned it any better. Everything is being orchestrated around you for you to find your way forward. This is your internal GPS. So in the past, I relied on maps, and I was shown, don't need to rely on maps. We will guide you where you need to go. And then other situations come up and you're given an image. I know the image. I know where I'm going. And again, this last time, internal GPS had me stop the car 1 street away where I needed to be. I wonder if ever you've had these kind of examples and you've let these come through so that they're just so ordinary, just so natural and so easy for you. We get knotted up and we get our knickers in a twist about thinking, planning, or worrying. You know, when sometimes all we need to do is just put it out in front of us. It's going to be easy. We're going to land in the right place. We're going to be taken to the right street. It's going to be easy. The meeting's going to be easy. We can precede a lot of what we need to do during the day in an easier way, by putting the energy out in front of us, just saying, this is going to be easy. I'm going to end up exactly the right time in exactly the right place. This is practical magic. This is being soul assisted. This is having things at the end of your fingertips that make your life so much easier when you allow yourself to step out of the way, stop overthinking, and let things glide forwards in your path. If you're interested in finding out more about this, if you're interested in learning how to be soul assisted, how you can utilize your own internal GPS, then let me know, because this is the soul assisted school. This is for entrepreneurs. This is for mums, people in business, people who want to move house. You want to move to the next level so that you are being soul assisted. It does not need to be so hard. What we think and what we feel allows us to create our experience. Imagine being able to have a much easier solution. I mean, effortless on your part. Just that, yeah, I imagined that I would get there really easily, and so you do. I'm Fiona Robertson. I am the host of Practical Magic TV because I want you to be able to get to that point when you're trusting that you are soul assisted. This is so, so important for the next evolution of the human being. Thank you for being here. I'm here every single week talking about practical